Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great Wednesday. So today I just want to talk a little bit about why it's important to address and to work with our kind of inner child aspects when we're doing this type of healing work. So what can happen when we're on our journey and as we start learning more and more and becoming very self-aware and very knowledgeable about our experience living with anxious attachment style is that we can feel like really excited and really motivated to work with the different patterns that we're finding and behaviors that we're identifying from kind of a cognitive, present day, grown up level of awareness. And that is beautiful and it absolutely has a place in healing. As you've probably noticed, a lot of work that we do here on Love Addicts, or a lot of conversations that we have, revolve around connecting with or acknowledging younger versions of ourself, or acknowledging and understanding that the root of a lot of patterns were planted and exist in maybe an inner child part or a child version of us. So I just want to say a little bit about why it's so important to kind of engage in different exercises or different practices or different types of inner talk that are directed toward and targeted at these inner child parts of us. I know that sometimes it feels a bit awkward. Maybe it feels like I'm doing a lot of kind of thinking about my inner child and work with my inner child. So here's the thing. Living with anxious attachment style can translate into a lot of dysregulation on many levels. The thing about dysregulation, whether it's in our nervous system, whether it's in our thoughts, whatever, just feeling out of sorts, feeling chaotic inside of us, these kinds of things, feeling very anxious, feeling very fearful. A lot of the dysregulation that is associated with anxious attachment style, due to the nature of how anxious attachment style is formed, a lot of the dysregulation is connected to, absolutely, and rooted in child versions of ourselves. Okay, so that means when we're wanting to heal it, when we're wanting to really work with it in a way that's actually going to create lasting shifts within ourselves, we need to address the root. And so, while there is value, of course, in working with ourselves from an adult perspective and in grown-up ways using grown-up words or grown-up ways of thinking, which are very advanced cognitively, a lot of the actual root of the anxiety and the dysregulation that we need to address is rooted in a child. That means we have to work with ourselves like we would work with a small child. We have to speak to ourselves like we would speak to a small child. We have to care for ourselves like we would care for a small child. So I just want to really encourage you to know that, yes, sometimes doing this kind of work with ourselves where there are things we do like practices or self-care things that feel like, oh, this is a bit childish, or but I'm an adult, why would I need to do that, why would I need to think about that? We're addressing the root so that we can kind of pull out those roots of things that are no longer serving us, tend to that soil, and plant something new and supportive from our grown-up self. But, a very basic kind of way to think of it is, if I'm a parent or a caregiver for a child and the small child is totally dysregulated, freaking out, crying, very upset, very scared, I'm not going to really be able to continue what I'm doing because I'm responsible for this child and taking care of them and making sure they're okay. So I'm going to need to address that before I continue with the grown-up things I'd like to do. And the way I'm going to address that is I'm going to get down to their level, at their eye level, right? And speak to them and interact with them in a way that they can understand developmentally. So I just really want you to know that the inner child kind of stuff that we do here and that you're doing with yourself is so powerful and does pay off and does create lasting shifts within you and help you kind of build that foundation of security that's going to be strong, sustainable, and that's going to just carry you into the new kind of experience of life that you are after. All right, everybody, have a beautiful rest of your Wednesday, and I will see you again soon. Thank you.